All right. I think we're live. All right. Welcome to the Mini Sculpting Super Show, Patreon Hangout for April 2019. Today I have once again Antoine with me. Antoine Berth.
Hello.
Hey, Antoine. Welcome back. So we were going to hang out at AdeptiCon, but you couldn't come. It was so sad. It was such a fun time. But
Yeah.
sometimes things come up,
Yep.
and you always have to keep the priorities straight. And as cool as miniatures and gaming is, they are lower on the list.
Yeah. Sometimes I wish they weren't lower, but family first.
Yes, family first. So you might notice that I am not working on my son's Dark Elf. It is not because it's finished. I just couldn't bear. Yeah, I'm not even gonna open it. I couldn't bear to work on it on the stream one more time. So I'm gonna get another little guy started up and hopefully finish. What's it called? Finish his figure off camera later this month or next. Hopefully before the next hangout. There's really no excuse. I'm very close. I just have to sit down for a little bit and finish it off. What are you working on?
I should be finishing my small commission, but hobby time has been rough lately. So I'm gonna work a bit on him, but hopefully I want to finish my witch, my crow witch. She's almost done. There's just the face, like the broom is all done, the hat is all done. I just have the face to do. So
Awesome.
I tried to do it and destroyed it by accident, so I just have to just the face to redo. The rest is fine.
I need to find my cheat sheet to know how big I need to make this. Oh, I could just use this.
But I'm a bit like you. I just want to do something else to
Yeah.
to not be working on the same two figure for the past 4 months.
Yep, I hear you there. So this is going to be another little goblin, but maybe a little bit bigger goblin. I ended up making several bits, little weapon, and just little things when I was first starting these guys. And one of them was a big bone. It was a little too big for what I was doing with them. So I'm, excuse me, going to try and make like maybe a more brutish version that can walk around with that thing. Just not too much bigger, but just a little bit bigger.
I don't want to make an order for one, but I don't know if you've seen the sketch I've done online. I tagged you, but I don't think you follow your social medias that closely.
No, not always.
Okay, give me 1 second. I'll share a picture. Where is it? Here.
Yeah, right there by the dwarf. Thank you. Thank you, son. My son's building a bunch of Oathmark dwarves. He's converting up some Oathmark dwarves, kit bashing them with some of the other Frostgrave kits and stuff behind me.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. I try and look if somebody specifically tags me. I usually get some additional notifications, and I try and look. But there was a time where, leading up to AdeptiCon, where I kind of
it was
removed it.
during AdeptiCon weekend because I didn't have cool event stuff to do. So
yeah,
I'm sure it got lost through a ton of other notifications. For some reason, I'm not able to share.
Share your screen?
Yeah, share that window.
I'll lock it on you so that you can.
I'll try something else.
Well, and tag me in it again, and
I already tagged you in like 4 medias.
Let's see. Oh, I gotta put that away.
There. That should work. Yes, I think so. Okay. Where is Hangout? I lost Hangout.
I don't even know how to check. Can you go back and? You did it during AdeptiCon or before AdeptiCon?
Around that time, I don't know.
Let's see. Well, it'd be on your page. Let's see.
I will share my screen.
Okay.
Okay, I am just gonna lower that one here. So I don't know if you
Oh
see
yeah, sweet. Yeah, I did not see that. That's cool, man.
it. I'm starting an RPG session tomorrow, and I'm
Ah.
playing a small goblin rogue.
Mhm.
So I wanted to do a sketch of it. So I use your goblins as a base
Cool.
for my sketch.
I've had several people tell me I should be doing heroes since that's a thing now. Maybe
Okay,
I will.
stop sharing here.
That's cool. Little so rogue.
Yep,
Cool.
good-hearted rogue.
Not too mischievous for a goblin.
No, not at all.
I have not built an armature in a long time. I'm doing this one a little bit differently. Not like I have done it this way before, but I just don't usually make the head part of the legs and the spine, but I decided to do this one with a separate headpiece so that the neck would be a little thinner and easier to manage. That should work. Yeah. But I'm using some little cheats to speed things up. But like super glue, you always gotta be careful with that. Make sure you get it fully encased when it's molded. So you don't want that vapor or that everything escaping and mess up the curing of the mold. So let's see. So yeah, AdeptiCon was fun. I really hope you can come next year.
I hope so too.
You would have had a blast. It was a great time. As soon as I can get this to stick, I'll show some of the stuff that I did. There we go. That'll be good. Okay. Put this back here. So I taught 3 classes. I taught 2 sculpting faces classes and 1 sculpting hair class. So here's the 2 faces I did. This is it's a little hard to see because the lights are a little harsh. Maybe I can dim it some. This was a female face I did, and male face. They got a little squished in my box. So obviously I wasn't able to cook them. They turned out pretty well. And man, everybody else in the class, I was very, very pleased with this year's students. They did a great job. A lot of people, even though there was a lot of fresh sculptors and everything, everybody seemed to really take to it very well. And then I made these busts and I taught people how to do some different hairstyles on there. So
Yeah, that's the one I was in. I wanted to be in.
that was fun. It was neat to do something different. But I think teaching people how to sculpt faces is still my favorite because there's a lot of very specific logical steps you have to go through.
Mm-hmm.
And it teaches you a lot of kind of different ways you can manipulate the material and stuff. I need to send you some of these heads still so you can try out, practice sculpting your hair on that.
I should have asked Paul to pick one for me.
And then I also got to take I took my first class, my first event ever at AdeptiCon, and that was with Mike
Mike,
Cousins.
yeah,
Yeah. So I
Epic Duck.
donated. Yeah, I donated a bunch of Sir Frogsworth for all his classes, and then I was like, you know, I want to paint my own miniature, and this seems like a really neat way to do it. So I always dreamed of being like good at wet blending and doing all that stuff, but I'm just not really interested in painting that way. Besides it being very difficult and not wanting to try and master yet another very difficult skill. And I kind of like the real more stark cartoony looks, and I was just amazed at how this ink, it really just starts to make the thing look like it's drawn, and it just makes things pop. Like around the shield, you just see that black line,
Mm-hmm.
and it just, oh man, I mean, it looks good up close, but it looks great, on the table because there's just so much contrast. So that was a lot of fun. I need to do a little bit more to him, especially finishing up the base, but that was a lot of fun. Need to check something real quick on this. No wonder nobody's knows we're here. I forgot to publish it. Here, hopefully we'll get some more visitors. But yeah, so it was a good time, very good time. Bobby Jackson and I played. I still need to post the rest of my pictures, but we played what's it called? Rangers of Shadow Deep. Played through the whole first campaign together. Sean Sutter joined us for the first mission, and then he had booth duties based most of the rest of the time. And then so Bobby and I played alone for a little bit, but then Benson Green was able to come on, and he played the rest of the campaign with us, which was awesome.
Does it play well cooperatively?
Oh yeah, it was so fun. It was so fun. It was so. I don't know if this is the way you're supposed to do it if multiple people are playing, but I know if you're playing by yourself, you're supposed to roll 1 dice for the monster and 1 dice for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But we just made the determination to always roll for the monsters, so that created some fun tension. Like, what are you doing to me? No, it's your turn to roll, not me. I keep killing everybody and stuff like that. So. Yeah, it was great fun. I can't wait to play. I'm gonna play through it again with my boys and then try the next scenario or mission. I don't know what it's called. The next campaign, I guess it would be. All right, I need to pose this guy. What do I want him to be doing? Where did that big axe go or club go? I can't remember where I put it. It's not good. I've recently been reorganizing my desk, so
and we always lose everything when
yeah, it looks a lot nicer, but I can't remember where I put everything. It might be in this paint tackle box. Let's check. This would be a good place for it, but I might have put it upstairs in storage with my other sculpts. Oh, I think I know where it is. All right. Okay, is this where it is? Here's my goblins. Oh, I know where they are. Man, I hope they're really there because I keep saying I know where they are and they're not there. But I have a box of sculpts, and I think I put all those bits in there. A box of in-progress sculptures, which most of these I should probably just throw away because they've been in here for years. Yes, there they are. There. One of them is the skeleton that I want to do a video on someday. Okay. Got an extra shield, the start of a club, bow, and then this big thing. So as you can see, it's it's pretty big. Yeah. So I mean, it'll still be big for this guy, but I'm gonna make him look more. He's a little bit taller, so at least he's gonna be as tall as the club instead of the club totally larger than him. And then he'll be a little bit beefier as well, so shouldn't look as goofy. Which I guess it's okay if it looks goofy on these guys because they're supposed to be kind of silly. Okay.
Did you play your game of Saga?
I did. I got to play one game of Saga. We played kind of a loose 2 versus 2. It was me and Dave Baker from Trenchworks versus Bobby Jackson and Bill Thornhill, but Bill ended up yielding and letting a guy he knew who was newer too, since we had everybody but Bill had never played or played very limitedly, and so he gave his seat to him, and yeah, Bobby's guys trounced me. And then this was the funniest part of the whole thing. Both Dave and I had full health warlords, and we had done things that made the enemy warlords basically they would be killed on one hit, and we did that. You know, we had full health, they had one hit point, and we charged in with our leaders at separate times, and in both instances, we did 1 or more hits to kill them, but they got 4 hits to kill us. So there was a total wipeout. But it was fun. I'm excited to play more, and it'll help to know my board a little more. I got to see some people playing Saga's Age of Magic, so that was exciting.
Oh yeah, it was there on preview. That's true.
Yes, yeah. The designer was actually there for a few days. That was the first time I saw it being played. He was kind of refereeing a game, and then I saw them playing again another night. Had some pretty cool looking armies painted up for it. The book's great. It's very large, full of amazing pictures and a lot of army lists, and yeah, I'm excited to try my goblins out in there.
I followed pretty closely the news announcement about that expansion.
Mm-hmm.
Really looking forward to trying it.
Yeah, it looks super fun. Oh, I might have to put this head on after I post them up because it's not staying on. Okay, we'll try that. All right. Everybody must be busy on Thursday nights, or maybe they're just not used to this day for the streams. That's all right. People can always ask questions later if they have any, and I'll come back and comment. I'm excited to. I've got a couple of videos. I'm, excuse me, in the works now. The 4-legged creature is the next one to start up. That'll end up being a parter, a couple parts probably. So I'm going to try and sculpt the entire thing and work through the whole process. And then I want to do the review of Quadruple Firm. Very eager to do that. I was actually thinking about doing this guy in that with the alcohol, prepping technique and everything, but I don't have any alcohol, so I need to go get some. I used to have some. I used to have a bottle. It lasted me forever, but I think it finally ran out. Wow. I do not know what I want to make this guy do. I should have thought of that beforehand. We'll bend his knees so that he can have some action. This is really big, so maybe he'll be dragging it on the ground. I don't know. I like the idea maybe if he has it up, but what do you think, Antoine? Have him with it up in the air doing something with it? Maybe like it's clonked on the ground behind his head, or or dragging it
like
like you
he's
can't.
swinging overhead, maybe.
That might be fun. I'll try that. Arch his back a little more. Spread his legs out a bit. If my connection starts to get garbled, let me know, because sometimes I start yapping and I can't tell.
No, it's great compared to
Okay.
the last show.
I think I might have. I mean, sometimes the internet here gets a little wonky, but I think I might have left my other computer on, and I think it was doing an update or something. I think that's what was going on.
Oh yeah.
All right. Oh, another huge highlight of AdeptiCon was the Toledo Game Rooms booth. They're a game store from Toledo. I don't know what he actually calls himself at the shows, but he goes to Gen Con and a lot of conventions. But the kind of shtick of what he's got going on is he has bins and bins and bins of all these miniatures and armies, mostly Games Workshop, but a lot of other ones too. But he'll have figures going back from years and years and years. You can usually get them for like $3 to $5 for old metal ones and stuff. And so first day, actually, it might even been, was it Wednesday night? I don't remember. It was I got in there right away before it was all picked through, and I got a lot of the dwarves I was missing from my collection. That was very, very exciting.
That's
A
cool.
lot of Marauder dwarves. They didn't have any older Citadel. Well, I think I did find one, maybe two, but found a ton of Marauder crossbowmen and a few of the hammers I'd been looking for a long time. So someday I'm gonna start painting them. Probably after I finish my little goblin army I'm working on. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and put these. Oh, spread his legs out just a little bit more. Give him a real crazy wide stance. Might have to bring it in a minute, but sometimes easier to get at least the width of your legs set up ahead of time and then bend them as you work it more rather than trying to get the guy totally posed up floating in the air. All right. This is gonna look so ridiculous. Gotta bend his arm the right way. Back more. There we go. But yeah, I just felt like everybody was there this year. So many people that I see all the time when I go there, and then many more that I've known from back at old Gen Con times, and it was really great.
That's the part I missed the most. Is meeting people. I was looking forward to trying games and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
like meeting people that I see online or only see at conventions.
Mm-hmm. some of the games. So the other event, I only signed up for one more event. It was a game event. It was for Mobile Suit Skirmish, which is a fan made Gundam game. You play with your Gundam models, kind of like BattleTech, but a lot more. If you can believe it, a lot more complicated than BattleTech actually. Yeah, but it was in a good way. I mean, it's pretty amazing how well worked out and laid out everything is, and I guess they're constantly improving it too. You know, they've got a really active online community and going on, and so. And then I one of the games I wanted to sign up for was a game of Hero Quest, but that was sold out because obviously only 4 people can play it.
Mm-hmm.
And but I actually ended up coming across the game where they were playing, and a guy that I met at AdeptiCon before named Tim, he was the one actually running it. And so he said a lot of times people hadn't been showing up, so I just came to one of the later sessions and filled in one of the empty seats, and we had a blast. Oh man, I hope this guy. I think it'll work. I think his hands will fit around his head, behind his head. I'll probably just leave his arms like that for now, and I'll have to adjust them once I get more bulk on his body and his head in place. Because right now I just don't know exactly how they're gonna wrap around his head. I might have to fudge it in the end, but it'll be okay. All right, I'm gonna try and put a little bit of glue back on this, get this head back on there, and then start puttying over everything. There was also a really, really cool game of Space Hulk being played. That was actually another person I got to meet, old friend. He used to paint my effigy miniatures when I had first made the sci-fi effigy line. Jody Cropholler, and he's an awesome painter. And he was actually up to AdeptiCon. Neither one of us knew the other was going to be there until posted, and we're like, "Wait, you're going to be there? Yeah, you're going to be there." So we got to hang out off and on throughout the show, and I watched him play that for a while. It was pretty epic. It had I think it had 6 different teams of Terminators, and yeah, and in the I don't remember how many people were playing Gene Stealers. It might have been, I don't think it was quite that many, but there was a few, and the premise was everybody was trying to reach the center of the thing. I'm gonna go ahead and give a second. Yeah, so it was a lot of fun to watch that. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. It wasn't just straight up Space Hulk with Gene Stealers and everything. Dang it, I can't get this to stick. It was they had Gene Stealer hybrids and cultists, all that stuff. So had more variety. But Jody's guys were seemingly invincible. He just every time, no matter how close they got, he would always take them out at the last second. I didn't stay for the whole thing though, so I don't know if his luck held out. But there was some. He was very fortunate. Sometimes I just cannot get this glue to cure. It's supposed to be a 5-second setup thing.
Yeah, the longer you have it, the less true that is.
Well, that's why I've had this bottle for a long time. So it loses its potency. Try and put some saliva on it. That's supposed to help. Nope, that doesn't. Or it does, but it's stuck to my other
Yeah,
finger.
it's stuck to your finger now.
Well, I'll just have to use putty. I might have to do my secondary layer another time. So we'll do that the long way. I was hoping to get a lot blobbed onto this guy, but we have some A. Hey, Verity Wrap. Not sure if he's still there because I don't see that anybody is viewing still, but if you are, welcome and thanks for joining the Hangout. All right, let's try this again. Might have to put a little bit on here first.
That's it for the rich tonight.
Oh, I guess it's not telling me. That's weird. It normally says how many people are watching, but I see people in the chat. So, somebody's speaking Spanish. I think. I don't speak Spanish or read it, so I won't be able to respond to your question. Oh, sure. Hey, sure. Come tell me what you think it says. Hopefully, it says something nice and they're not being mean. It's from Marconi Claudio. Is it
Might
not
be
Spanish?
Italian.
Or is it Portuguese?
It might be Portuguese. This is to know. I don't know what fazer means. Das, your miniatures. Caribbean Amigo. Friend is a excellent artist.
Well, if you want to try and throw that into a translator and repaste it, might be able to read it.
Let's see it go.
What does that mean?
Sorry.
Oh. All right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Did you have convention coming up in Canada, don't you? Or did you already do that? Antoine. I feel like you told me you were doing something up there. Maybe maybe we were just
have
talking about
an event. It's not a convention.
Okay.
We're running the East Canadian National for Guild Ball. They have a series of qualifiers for the world event, and we are one of them.
Awesome.
That's coming start of June, so that's what I'm switching out to now. The brown putty needs to cure on the witch, so I'll work on that.
Oh, you're not doing all beast putty on her?
Yeah, but I was missing a pin for the beak, and I wanted something more more firm.
Yeah.
And I had leftover from the other piece I was working on, so I just put that in the base of the head and put the pin in it, and now I need to wait.
Oh, there. Gotcha. Bless you. All right. That might hold up okay. Excuse me. I have one final, well, there's a lot of stories, but oh yeah, I should say this. One of the people I was most excited to run into was Danny Samuels, who is a guy that I met when he was like a kid. I think he said he was I feel like he said he was 13 when he first met met me at the AdeptiCon sculptors meetups, and he used to come and ask us all these questions, and he'd bring us and show us his sculpts all the time. Well, he went on to do sculpting at Disney. I can't remember exactly what department or anything, but it was down in Florida. I don't remember if it was for the parks or was for one of the studios. But he's an amazing sculptor.
Oh wow!
And he worked for Disney. He's actually, did a lot of. I believe he did a lot of scenery sculpting for the new movie, The Missing Link, that's just coming out or just came out. Yeah, and so, but it was it was so funny. He walked up to me and said, "Hey, Tom," and like the moment I saw him, I'm like, "Danny Samuels," and so it was funny. He couldn't believe I remembered him. But yeah, he was great fun to have at the old Hangouts, and I hadn't seen him in a long time because he'd gone on to work there. Now he's working at Privateer Press, building scenery and stuff for them. So that was a real treat to see him. All right. I don't know if I like the way these legs are positioned, but I might just have to get some material on and go for it. I wish I could play with this head more, but I gotta let it set up first. Okay. I'm gonna get a little more movement in this before I start putting down the putty, but there we go. That's a little more fun. It looks like for anybody that, excuse me, will be out east later this year in July, I should be at HistoriCon this year. So hopefully I'll get to meet some people out there. And with any luck, well, I'll be teaching some classes too. So I've always wanted to go there. It's Bobby Jackson was telling me all about it. Hey, Goblin. Yeah, Bobby Jackson was telling me all about it, and I guess it's just a lot like Adepticon, just miniatures as far as the eye can see. He said the only real difference he felt was that it's kind of flipped, whereas Adepticon has some historicals. It's all miniatures, but has some historicals and a lot of fantasy and sci-fi. HistoriCon is kind of flipped. There's some fantasy and sci-fi, but it's pretty much all historicals. I've always really liked historical miniature games, and just the kind of wild variety and breadth of different rules and things that people have come up with to just mimic every single possible battle. And in war. It's very intriguing. Oh, thank you for translating, Goblin. He said, "My dream to learn how to make these miniatures. Congratulations, friend. A great job." Well, thank you very much, Coney. Appreciate that. I hope you get to achieve it too. Just keep working at it, and you will. It's very easy to get distracted in this day and age. I mean, there's all sorts of other hobbies and things, but then there's even our own hobby. You know, you can sculpt, or you can play, or you can paint miniatures, and gotta make sculpting a priority and all that. That's cool. What's that gonna be?
Last year, I don't know if it will show well in the picture. No, maybe not. Maybe. Uh, we did a custom
Let me pull it back up. Here we go.
ball token because Guild Ball plays with you need a ball token on the field, and we did a Canadian team one. It was a curling stone.
Ah, yes.
So we are doing a house, so like old style house, which is the end of the curling goal zone.
Mm-hmm.
So with a wood panel with the Canadian mark on it, and I'm gonna use some of the. I casted multiple of my small stones with removing the bases, so they're gonna be all around in the ice patch.
Awesome.
And we're doing that and casting one for every attendee.
Very cool.
Yeah, the special tokens last year were super well received, so we're doing the same thing this year, but something different, but keeping with the theme.
Did you, when you signed up for AdeptiCon, did you sign up for your premium badge or anything, or you just have a regular
Yes,
badge?
I did.
What? Did you get your stuff? Is there any way to get it?
Yeah, I was able to. There were some oops to go through, but my buddies who did go were able to pick the bag for me.
Thank goodness. I was gonna say if you did that and missed out on Song of Ice and Fire, and I mean there was a lot of other good stuff in there too, but
Yes,
oh my
there's a lot
gosh,
of stuff.
I would have been very, very depressed if it was me at least.
I was a bit depressed until I got the reply that it was possible.
That's yet another reason I love them so much. They just make it such a great experience there.
It's crazy the value that was in that bag.
Yeah. I'm actually worried that it's all going to come crashing down because it's literally gotten bigger and better every single year. It's hard to believe. It's very hard to believe it could, even sustain at the exact same level, but
yeah,
they pull off this year, man, I don't know what it was. I mean, I had a blast, but the show itself, just seeing the organizers and the people, just everything seemed to, like it was flowing perfectly well. And the year before, I mean, it all went very well, but it seemed like things were a little more harried and stuff was running around, but they just really seemed to have everything kind of taken care of.
Wasn't
this
it this
year.
the 10th this year or the 10th anniversary or something like that?
I don't know.
Or that might have been a previous year.
I think it's been around longer than 10 years.
Yeah.
I can't remember. There's a Roman
No,
numerals on them.
yeah, I'm mixing up with Kingdom Come.
Which a lot of people are at that right now.
Yeah,
Sean Sutter.
it's their last
Yeah.
their last go at it.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, wow. Well, that's pretty cool. At least they got to, pretty high note. I mean, yeah, it's conventions seem like they're an incredible amount of work.
Mm-hmm.
Really appreciate everybody that gets that worked out. And even probably in some ways more so the volunteers who, because really, I mean, a lot of these conventions couldn't function. They're just,
Oh no, for sure.
yeah, it would cost too much if people weren't so generous with their time. The guys running the open gaming area were awesome. They had a lot of really great terrain, and they were there watching it and make sure, if anybody needed something, and make sure, people weren't messing with stuff. It was really nice.
Yeah, that was one of my questions while planning to go, like
Mm-hmm.
how the open gaming section was running, because I wanted to play games I don't have often the choice to the option to play up here. So I was bringing a bunch of my smaller games or less played games.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, they have a lot of great terrain. It's obviously typically I would say it's probably a little more geared towards like 40K and or like fantasy or Mantic, Kings of War kind of stuff. But that is also pretty versatile. So you could pretty easily use it for anything, which is what we did. But Benson actually ended up having some extra terrain, and I think we borrowed a little bit from Nick Bogart as well.
Yeah. Yeah,
just
I
to
had
fill in
a
some
couple
gaps.
of games planned with Nick. So.
Yeah. So I will definitely be bringing some of my own terrain too. If nothing else, just some extra scatter stuff to kind of fill in the gaps, because they had like a lot of woods and larger buildings, stuff like that, but not as much of the smaller scatter stuff.
Yeah, we were planning a game of modern stuff. Pulp City like superheroes. So
oh yeah.
I didn't. Like you mentioned, it's mostly sci-fi and fantasy, so I wasn't sure. So I didn't pack any building, but like the decision to not go was made the night before leaving. So that
wow,
my bag was already done, and I had a bunch of vehicles and scattered terrain to throw in my bag already. Everything was ready, but
oops. Yeah, the only thing you really have to worry about is it filling up. But if you get there early and get your do your gaming, I mean, you could slip in from time to time, but there were a couple days that the tables were repurposed for official events and stuff. So,
okay.
And like the mobile suit skirmish was one of those. Excuse me. But yeah, for the most part, yeah, they were there. Lots of tables and stuff to do, and yeah, it was a lot of fun.
It's good to know for next year.
Yes. So you're going to try, I assume, to come next year?
Try.
Well, I hope you can. Man, I was toying right before I went. I was toying with the idea of maybe even skipping teaching. I don't know if I can though. I really do like teaching. I might tone it back a little more, but because I had a lot of fun playing, and I would like to just be able to play the whole time. But it's always great to be able to take part in the miniature hobby events and stuff too. So I might still do at least one class.
And your class were on the shorter side. They were not the long.
Yeah, no, I didn't do any of the big ones. I just did the hour and a half ones, hour and a half, 2 hour, whatever it ends up to. So,
but that's still that was 3 classes. So that's almost when you add them together with preparation and everything, it's almost a day you lose. So
yep. It was nicely spread out for me. I had 2 classes on Thursday back to back, so it kind of got out of the way. And then on Friday, I had my mobile suit skirmish event. And then on Saturday, I had my last class, and then I immediately went into the painting class. So I had a good. That's why it was really nice too to be able to just go play our games of Rangers in the morning, because we had lots of time. My classes never started before 4, so we could just play, and then when we got sick of that, get lunch and walk around the halls or whatever. And it was a good time. I hope Stefan doesn't get offended that I'm not using the cool slurry method that he showed.
I don't think
I'm
he
sticking
cares.
it. I know. I want to do it that way. That's how I will do it in my review. I might know where the alcohol was, but then after I couldn't find it immediately, I was like, I should probably wait and test it off camera and save it for the official review anyway. So I'll tell you this. I'll give a quick little preview. I really like the feel of the quadruple firm already, a little more than even the triple firm. I don't like super firm putties, but I also don't like it to be super soft. I kind of like it somewhere in the middle. And this is, well, it's the firmest Bees putty. It's closer to the firmness I'm used to working in with Fimo and green stuff and things like that. So
I'll have to try. I think what I have is triple firm.
and that's what's so cool about how he's done it. I mean, he has all the different qualities of it, because I mean, I know almost every sculptor likes a slightly different mix or feel to their material. I mean, Trey Manor's favorite polyclay was Cernet, which felt like sculpting with a rock to me, but it's not that bad. But it's pretty firm. You have to really knead it up, and then once it's on there, it's kind of, you have to be careful how you manipulate it, because it's very firm. Yeah, I think I'm really gonna like this stuff. I'm actually, even though my hope is to not have to do the green stuff and then the polyclay application like I'm doing now, this is actually going on a lot easier than Fimo, because with Fimo it's a pretty good and supple polyclay, even especially compared to like Super Sculpey or Sculpey Firm, but it still feels kind of a little drier, a little grainier. Not grainier, drier is a better word. And so, when you press it on there, it kind of wants to leave behind some particles and pull off a little bit, unless your putty's super sticky. But this, being a little sticky itself, just grabs right back to the putty. So you got the putty grabbing the polyclay and the polyclay grabbing the putty. Yeah, I really like it. And it's kind of a nice color. It's this light, very light green. Just kind of need to sculpt the different color from time to time. This should photograph pretty well too. It's a nice kind of desaturated green. Does anybody in the chat have any more questions? I have no idea how many people are watching this. It doesn't say. I can only see the 3 people that chatted in the chat. So if anybody has any questions or anything, feel free to hop it on. We'll end up getting off here in a little bit. But I want to make sure to talk to you guys too. I'm getting excited to have be doing another. I haven't done a new traditional sculpt in a long time. Cool, 6 people. Sweet. Thanks, Goblin. It's been a long time since I've started a new one. The last traditional sculpting I did besides my son's miniature was to convert my my Saga Warlord which I was glad I did. Not that I played a lot of Saga, but I was using Bill Thornhill's Viking Warlord, the one that's holding up a guy's head in his hand.
Mm-hmm.
It's a cool figure. But when I was there, I saw like probably 3 or 4 people with that same general. So I actually chopped the hand with the head off and sculpted a sword and the hand holding that sword. And then I put a shield in the other hand. So just helped them look a little bit more unique. And I did end up getting my my whole Saga Warband painted. It wasn't pretty. There was some gaps in my paint jobs, but there was paint on everything. So that was exciting to have them fully colored. So, but I need to go back and kind of add in my washes and a little bit of highlighting just to look a little nicer. But this weekend, if I get a chance to paint, I'm gonna take a break and paint a couple goblins up because they're just fun and simple.
Are you painting the old fantasy goblins, or are you painting some of yours?
Oh, old fantasy goblins. I've got a bunch of these Battle for Skull Pass goblins.
Mm-hmm.
I've got 6 of the spearmen painted, and I've got 6 archers ready. My son and I play a lot of well, we haven't in a little bit because I got busy before AdeptiCon, but Dragon Rampant. So you don't need that many miniatures in the grand scheme of things. It's still definitely an army size endeavor, but just got to do a little bit at a time. And I got a fun little paint scheme I like that's pretty simple and straightforward. Not too many colors, so I can actually paint them up pretty quickly.
That helps
they look
for
good.
army games.
Yeah, whenever I would try and paint anything, I was always like, well, this has to be this color, this has to be that color, and then that's when one of the things I was excited about with Mike Cousins' class
Mm-hmm.
is it's a short amount of time, and he was talking about pick some bright colors, and then he did more colors on his frog, but I was like, you know what? That's what he's saying. I'm just gonna grab basic colors. I got a yellow, the purple, and then I had a gray, and that was it. I think I ended up getting a white just to hit the eyes. Oh no, I didn't. I didn't have an official white. I think I ended up going back to touch up with white. Anyways, but the white is actually, I believe, mostly a primer. I must have painted a little bit, but anyways. But I'm starting to like miniatures where they have fewer colors, even if they have lots of crap on them, because it just goes so much faster.
Oh yes.
Even if it's a fancy miniature. But yeah, I used to have like, well, the boots need to be this brown, and the gloves have to be this brown. So I'd have be using 3 or 4 browns on a miniature. And I was like, why am I doing this? It doesn't. And then they look weird because they'd be different color tones and things like that. So. Hey, Anya, Angel. Well, all right. Well, it's 10 o'clock. Sorry to wrap it up kind of abruptly, but it's been a whirlwind catching up since AdeptiCon at work, and I've been doing some freelancing again too. So it's been very, very busy nights and everything. But really was glad everybody could join me, especially you, Antoine. I was so bummed that we weren't able to hang out at AdeptiCon, but I'm glad we got to hang out here, and look forward to doing it again in the future, and hopefully next year at AdeptiCon.
Yes, me too. Do you have an idea when the next hangout will be? Are you changing the official date?
Let's see. Well, I think I was thinking about making it. So I think I'll probably keep it Thursday. That seems to work. It's just one day off from everything. But I was thinking about switching it to the beginning of the month instead of the end of the month, just to kind of have it happen right away. Let's see. Let's look at a calendar real quick. Let's decide this right now. So this is the second Thursday. So we could make it the second Thursday of every month, or the first Thursday. The first Thursday might be more
simpler to remember.
Yeah, simpler to remember. I'm trying to see. Let's see, May. So that would be May the 2nd. Just making sure I'm not going to be gone or anything weird. Yeah. Yeah, so that's when it should be. It should be the first Thursday of every month is what we're going to do now. And that way, if I pushed it back to the last Thursday, like we're doing with Wednesdays now, well, my wife just told me we can't because I'll probably be gone or something. But the other reason is it would feel like 2 months since we hung out. So don't want to do that. So yeah, May 2nd. And from then on, it'll be the first Thursday of every month. So, which that is first Thursday. So anyways, enough rambling. All right, guys. Well, thank you once again for joining us. And remember, keep sculpting.